The new S88 Kontrol Mark III is here, so let's get it unboxed and take a look at it. Now, before diving deep into the details and the differences, I want you to know that the Mark II is an amazing controller. This has been my favorite piano substitute for the last few years since it came out. So right off the bat, you can see some differences. Clearly, there is a much bigger screen on the Mark III versus the Mark II. And then the Mark III also has the one big center screen versus the Mark II having the two separate screens. Now, purely from touch alone, the Mark III feels significantly more premium. So right off the bat, one of the main things I noticed is the turn knobs. On the Mark III here, it is a lot more metallic and metal feeling, and it feels a lot more sturdy versus the Mark II, a little more plasticky, but very responsive. And then moving on to the buttons, you can hear the difference versus the Mark II. And now that's gonna be a personal preference. On the Mark II, it's a lot more subtle, but for me, I like the more tactile feel of the Mark III. Now the buttons across the top, although they look different, they feel the same. Now when it comes to the control knobs, I think they pretty much feel the same in terms of how sturdy they are. Another difference you'll notice is on the Mark II, we have 6 buttons above the control knob versus on the Mark III, there's 3 buttons. Same thing over on this side. There are less buttons, but this does not mean less functionality. Now let's talk about the keybed. When I first got the Mark II, I thought that it was such an amazing upgrade from the Mark I, and it was the best keybed that I had ever felt from a piano player's perspective. Now this is gonna be personal preference, but if you get the S88, that's probably the feel you're going for. So know that going from the Mark II to the Mark III is still an upgrade. I think the Mark III's keybed feels better. It feels a lot more like a piano. And now on a follow-up video, we are going to do a deep dive into the Mark III and its integration with the new NKS compatible plugins, its integration with Logic as soon as that gets updated. But let me show you something that I'm absolutely stoked about with its integration with Kontakt. So let's go open up an instance of Kontakt 7 and see what each controller does. So, did you notice the difference? When we look on the Mark II here, nothing changed. It is still just the MIDI setup because it is waiting for an instance of Complete Control to open. But when you look on the Mark III here, it is fully integrated with Kontakt 7. Immediately, it brought up all my plugins and I can start sampling the sounds. The control knobs recognize my touch, so as soon as I touch it, it brings up the menu so I can start to see what's within that knob. Now I primarily work out of Kontakt, but I also like seeing in plugins where the different key sets are, and it's always labeled with different colors. But in order for the Mark II to show the different colors, I had to do a little workaround. I had to open up an instance of Complete Control, and then I would open up Kontakt within Complete Control. I would manipulate a couple menus, that way it just looked like I had Kontakt 7 open, and then I would be able to see the colors or the different key sets on the Mark II. But now when you open up Kontakt, the Mark III shows it, and you'll see when I load a plugin, it will already show the different colors. Now moving over to the wheels and the expression, there's a pretty big change. You'll notice that the expression on the Mark II is down at the bottom versus now on the Mark III, we have it right here in the center. And now that's actually a pretty significant change because when you're on the Mark II, if you're wanting to use the Modwheel and the expression, it can be sometimes a two-hand affair, which can make it hard to, when you're playing, to try to add those dynamics. Versus now, you can easily control the mod wheel and have the expression. It's a minor change, but a significant impact. Now, same thing as the knobs. These wheels have a much more sturdy and metallic feel to them, and they're just nice. Versus on the Mark II, they feel nice, but they have a rubbery, plasticky feel to them. So there you have it. There's a quick look at the new Kontrol Mark III S88 by Native Instruments. Now, I will be doing a deep dive in some upcoming videos, so if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe so you can get notified when I drop those videos. But if you have any questions until then, feel free to drop a comment below and I'll try to get to them. Now, all S-Series keyboards are available for pre-order now, so I'll drop a link below down in the description if you want to go check it out for yourself. Now, it is an affiliate link, but it doesn't cost you anything extra. It just supports the channel. But until next time, I'm Phil. Keep creating music.